What's up guys, my name is Trail, better known as Budget Bill, and today we have another stimulus update for you. While we're all waiting on another big fat stimulus check from the government, there are just a few other things we should be doing while we're waiting. As I always tell my friends and family members, you should always be proactive instead of reactive. Don't just sit around and wait for someone else. Figure out what you can do for yourself until that time comes, because it may never come. We all just have to wait and see. So if you are interested in this topic as much as I am, be sure to click on the like button on this video, as it really helps the channel grow. Now, let's go ahead and jump right into the video. What's up folks, and thanks for sticking around. So as of June the 1st of 2020, there has been over 40 million Americans that have filed for unemployment, millions of Americans that have lost their pay cuts at their jobs, as well as hours cut, and about 200 people that are not clicking on the like button for the YouTube algorithm. So according to a survey performed, which showed that almost 1/3 of Americans have spent their big fat stimulus check to pay bills such as rent or mortgages. In addition, about 1 out of 10 Americans have used their big fat stimulus check to buy essential things such as food or hygiene products. And then about 15% have stashed their big fat stimulus checks away to build their emergency savings accounts. And all of these types of behaviors suggest that most people, the big fat stimulus payments was a financial lifeline for many Americans struggling right now. And basically these monies were considered a cushion to prepare themselves for what is looming in the near future. So considering that information, we know that more stimulus relief money is definitely needed for the American people. But we all know that the Republicans are just now returning from recess, and they need time to review the previous passed bill called the HEROES Act, as well as negotiate and determine what all they want in the next bill. And then they have only 3 weeks or so before the July recess will be coming up as well. And then to top it all off, our country is still dealing with the effects of COVID-19 and the recent protests around the country in response to the recent killings of George Floyd. As I am not going to specifically talk about that topic, I'm just giving you a grasp of all the things that are currently going on right now, which means a lot of people are struggling in different fashions, different ways across the United States and the world as well. So if you are currently struggling financially and not sure if you can make it through August to receive the additional stimulus money from the government, there are some things that you could be doing right now. So for starters, you want to reach out to the main creditors that you pay every month to let them know that you were affected by COVID-19 and want to see what options are available, as you either have lost your job, or let's say you've had your hours cut at work, or whatever the situation is. Contact them to see what type of assistance can they provide for you in your situation. Please don't just sit and do nothing. That is the one mistake that most people make when they are going through hardships or hard times. I always tell my friends that creditors offer help to those who ask for it. However, most people assume that they can't get help, so they just don't even ask. And then some people are just too prideful to ask others for help as well. Trust me, I actually know a guy. But yes, certain creditors like major utility companies or credit unions and big banks, etc., all offer temporary relief for customers that are impacted by the COVID-19. All you have to do is just ask for it. They are waiving late fees, as well as promising not to disconnect services due to non-payment. So take advantage of these options if you actually need them. Also, if you have a car note or credit card payments that are due, you want to do the same thing for those as well. Every bill that you have, you want to reach out to each one to find out what the options are. At least that way you can cut down on the amount of money needed to pay out every month, so your money will actually last you longer until we can receive additional funding or another big fat stimulus check. Other companies such as credit unions and banks are offering special hardship programs for customers or consumers who can't pay their bills. This way you can potentially defer your payments to a later time, as well as waiving late fees. For people that do nothing, they will ensure more late fees, which in turn will cause your bill to increase over time. So you definitely don't want that to happen. That's just wasteful. That's just wasting money. And then if you are able to get some type of payment arrangements with the creditors, ask for that in writing for your own records, just in case something comes short from the agreement with you and the creditor. That is how you protect yourself as well as them, sort of like insurance. A few other things you want to take advantage of is the things such as forbearance periods under the CARES Act. There are multiple forbearance periods for student loans and other federally backed loans, including mortgages. And those mortgages would include those that are serviced by FHA, VA, USDA, Fannie Mae, and Freddie Mac. All federally backed loans allow you to defer your payments by 180 days if you pick up the phone and contact the loan servicer. And if you are still struggling after those 180 days, you can then apply for an additional 180 days. This can potentially get you to a total of 12 months of deferred payments on your federally backed loan. So definitely use that benefit if you actually need it. It's there for you. Why not? Now, if your student loan or mortgage is not federally backed, other companies are also offering the same forbearance periods. I know some well-known private lenders such as Discover Student Loans, SoFi Student Loans, as well as Common Bond are offering the same type of assistance. So you want to take action and call to see what your options are. Don't just wait until you receive late fees and non-payment notifications to show up at your house. Let's be proactive about this while everyone is willing to work with each other during the time of need. And that's what actually makes this COVID-19 different from the recession we went through 12 years ago. The COVID-19 has affected everyone globally. So everyone wants to step up and help one another. I think that's the beauty of it all, outside of the people that are losing their lives from COVID-19. And then if all those options are not enough, you also have the option to borrow money by taking out a loan. There are many financial institutions that are now offering COVID-19 hardship loans. Now, even though these have a fancy name, they are still personal loans and intended for consumers who need cash right now. These loans will have cheaper interest rates than doing a cash advance on your credit cards. That's always a forbidden option from my perspective. So if you are taking out a loan is the best option for you, be sure to check with your local credit union first instead of the traditional bank, because it's much easier to get it from credit unions with better rates. And I believe about 80% of credit unions are offering these types of loans to consumers now, and they are waiving certain startup fees as well. But I would only borrow money if I ran out of all other options. Now, hear me clearly. Don't get it twisted. If you are able to defer your utility payments or student loans or your mortgage or your rent payment, that does not mean you won't still owe that money later. You are still going to be responsible for covering those payments, but at a later date, and probably with some additional interest charges as well. But we all will probably agree that right now it's all about survival, as we still have a long way to go throughout this whole pandemic. But yes, that's all I have for you today. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like, as it definitely helps out the growth of this channel. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, then this is a great time to click on the subscribe button down below, as well as the bell next to it, so you can be notified every time I upload new content. Other than that, hey, I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you on the next video. Peace.